My name's Sam, but you can call me the storyteller. Today, we're going to be reading The Loneliest Boogaloo by Ryan Colley. Shall we begin? In the ancient and old Boogaloo den lived happy Boogaloo women and men. No single Boogaloo ever lived alone, except one Boogaloo who was all on his own. The Boogaloos played together all day, but not the lonely Boogaloos stayed out their way. Together they played with their kites and their toys, all of them together, girls and boys. You see, the Boogaloos should never be mellow. They are all colours, red, blue, even yellow. Their happiness made them shine ever so bright, but not the Boogaloo who was just white. All the Boogaloos found the same colour as them, and that's how they lived in the Boogaloo den. That is why one was so lonely through the night. He was the only one who was a dirty white. All he could do was to watch and to stare. No Boogaloo had never not had a pair. But he was alone and no one did care, and their happy world was his nightmare. So he cried all day and he cried all night, just for a friend and maybe a kite. Was it too much to ask for a friend? Someone to help his loneliness end. On one night, the Boogaloo den was colder than cold, and deep in the ground lived something older than old. Hidden away where it was darker than dark, something stirred and caused the barkers to bark. The sound had caused something to stir and to crawl, crawling up through the ground to Boogaloo Hall. The sobbing above awoke something below, and what happened next no one can ever know. Up to the hall came a terrible sight. It was a creature that lived in the night. It had lived when the stars were still young, and would live after the last one had shone. It stood there with its featureless face. It was old and the last of its race. It didn't smile or get annoyed. It was a creature that lived in the void. So the Boogaloos began to fight and to punch. So it ate up their arms just for its lunch. So then they tried to run to get away, but it ate up their legs and forced them to stay. No one could leave to tell the tale, because it feasted deep on their entrails, and then next on the brains deep in their head, most of the Boogaloos ended up dead. Finally the creature ate up his friend, the one it had left to the very end. He screamed and he cried and then he moaned, he died as he lived so very alone. The creature then slept for 1,000 years more, deep underground below old Boogaloo Hall. It would wait for the Boogaloo den above, would fill up again with Boogaloo love. It would wait for life to return to the den, and then it would rise up and consume it again. The creature below would always be waiting, because its hunger would always need sating. And that's the story of Boogaloo Den, a cycle so old it would happen again. You see, it had happened 100 times before, and would surely happen 100 times more.